Good morning, folks from the Looney Bin. I saw a video there recently where a Limerick TD, who's also a builder, harried Leo Varadka in the Dáil and said we could build thousands of houses if the infrastructure was there, sewage and, of course, roads were put in to provide the services necessary. But of course, everybody knows that when that happens, the farmer who owns that land suddenly has multiplied the value of it by 100-fold and he becomes a multimillionaire. So the taxpayer pays to put in the expensive infrastructure like water, sewage, and roads, and the farmer at maximum pays 33% a capital gains tax on the massive sum he gets for the property. I remember when I was quite young, many years ago, there were a last of the English aristocracy who owned a lot of the land in West Dublin around Blanchardstown. Um, Names such as Laidlaw come to mind. He had stables and horses up there on a huge area which is now called Carpenterstown. And Sir Hugh Nugent was also another gentleman who owned all of Clonsilla, stretching from Blanchardstown right up to Clonsilla railway station. He had his stables up there too, near the Clonsilla railway station. So these people were very wealthy then, and they were very heavily taxed, it seemed, because my father used to do a bit of work for them, and they told my father, one and all of them, that they were all selling out, going back to England. Mr. Laidlaw was from Scotland. He was heading back to Scotland and selling the farms to developers who had offered them a good price for what was then only farmland. But of course, the developers had deep pockets and a plan, and they sat on those virgin farmlands for 10, 15 years. And then the permission arrived from the government, and the government put in the infrastructure, and the developers became again obscenely wealthy and built huge housing estates for the masses on these lands. At the moment, there's two big tracks up there. One in Castleknock College, the St. Vincentians owned, that's up on the Carpenterstown Road. And there's another one on the left, on the other side of that, which is still owned by the Guinness family. It's quite a big area, and there's a big old house there, and it probably has potential for a good few houses as well. So there's not much else except those two sites left up in that area at the moment. The aristocrats have been driven out of the country, and the developers with the deep pockets had the money to sit on that land and to buy it up as a farmland because the aristocrats were never going to get permission from the government to rezone that land. That's the way of the world, I suppose. The hated British, the last of the implantation of Ireland. They were getting rid of them quietly, and they were making a lot of money in the process. So that's a piece of history for you guys. And then what more can I say? So if you put in infrastructure, um, for example, they take Bruton, the Bruton farm. Bruton's, Richard and John Bruton, have a big farm right outside Dunboyne. And all the infrastructure is there, and it has been rezoned, I understand, for hundreds of houses. But the Brutons are sitting on that like a hen sits on eggs. And in fact, they even had a police hut on their farmhouse for the last 40 years, 24/7, minding the place in case burglars might break in and steal something. Such are the privileges and perks of an ex Taoiseach. and a serving minister at the moment, John Bruton. So the Brutons have no intention of selling their farm as a kind of a charitable cause to help the masses who can't afford to buy housing. They are obscenely wealthy at the moment, and the farm is increasing in value every day. And they don't really need another 50 million euros, less maybe 33% capital gains tax. What will they do with it? I don't know. I think they're too old now to start again and go into big business and blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, that's just a history lesson, folks, that I know a little about because my father was involved in the getting rid of the Cromwellian, the last of the Cromwellian implantation in Ireland. But of course, we have a new one now, and the process is starting all over again with rather poor people. And the hell, what's anyway, folks? Good night. Talk to you again. God bless. Bye.